everybody. It's Monday morning. It's the Monday morning edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder, here with comedians known as Fig and Talent. And, of course, this is the Super Bowl, preview of the Super Bowl weekend. In case you guys don't know, these comics have been in the game since, comedy films, specials, TV shows. They've been in comedy. They've been in comedy since comedy got real good. You know, these guys have been in comedy for a while now. So, first of all, how was you guys' weekend? How's everything?
Look at my face.
Yeah, I bet.
Jesus win, baby.
Let me do the COVID report real fast. The COVID report is the Bulls and Grizzlies. The game got postponed. This is the fifth straight game for the Grizzlies that got postponed. It's supposed to be set for Wednesday. It got postponed. The Miami Heat is about to use COVID sniffing dogs on fans as they get ready to move forward with that, and that's really insane because, as you guys already imagine, they're trying to get more fans into the stadiums, and they want to start using dogs, all the testing and everything else. They're going to start to do that. Real quick, real fast, the UFC had their fight Saturday night. It was an upset. Conor McGregor lost to Dustin Poirier, and it was UFC 257. But, I'm going to jump in real fast because we're going to have a lot to talk about, so let's just get ready to get this Green Bay versus Tampa Bay game out the way. Because Talent couldn't wait to have this conversation. So,
first of all, the dog sniffing situation. Well, there goes the cocaine. Huh? Ain't no more bringing that to the game,
especially in Miami.
Yeah, ain't no more bringing that to the game. Let's get this Tampa game out of the way because Talent again. First of all, don't feel bad, Frank, because people feel this way about me. I'm the LeBron James of arguments and conversation. Okay. I win so much. I go to the chip so much. People are mad and they want to bring me down. That's the American way. Once you start popping, everybody want to work the other way and bring you down. Well, brother, let me tell you this. I told you so. I told you what is more important. The great player versus the great or good coach. You got to go with the great player because I'll say it again. A great player, damn near anybody can coach him. You get a decent coach. Coach ain't even got to be great if the player is great. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You get a decent coach, put him with a great player, you're going to get some chips. You got a great player up there in New England. Mm-hmm. Shit.
Now, let me say this. For the record, this is what he's talking about. We had this debate for all those who jumping in and not understand what he's talking about. There was a debate that we had at the beginning of the NFL season, and in the midway, it came back up at the midway of the NFL season. The debate was, would you rather have a great coach or would you rather have a great QB? Now, I've said, and I will continue to maintain this conversation, and I will continue to say if I'm going to start an NFL franchise, I would rather have a great coach versus a great quarterback. If you can only have one, that's I would always say that. Now, Talent, as you guys sit there and hearing him say, he'd rather have a great and because he said I'd rather have Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick. Now, I'm gonna go on the record right now and say I'm still gonna stick with Bill Belichick on this because of the simple fact being, all things being equal, you don't have great other players and everything else. The coach still assembles the team. The coach still puts together the game plan, and the coach still makes moves forward. Talent, as you heard, he said, well, I'd rather have a QB because look what Tom Brady's doing. Now, I'm sitting here right now, and I got to supposedly eat crow.
Oh, ain't no suppose about it. Eat that. Let me explain something to you. Ain't no suppose about it. And knowing what we know of all the years, we grown-ass men, we watched a lot of sports our lifetime. Knowing what we know now, how could you still take that stance? If somebody offered you Phil Jackson or Michael Jordan, you taking Phil?
Here's the thing. I'm going to take in football, I will take the coach. In basketball, I will take the player. Two different types of things.
Wow. Interesting.
Because here's the reason why. Because in basketball, the coaching can only get you so far. In football, you can have the same type of great coach on both sides. And then, of course, the player can help you. But also, you could also have the same type of both coaching, and the coaching can get you a whole lot further along. Basketball.
Fig, you gonna let him go with this bullshit? Fig, you gonna let him go with this?
No, actually, I was about to chime in. I was letting you guys play this tennis back and forth while Frank tries to get out of the fact that Bill Belichick you talk about assembling teams. Well, he went to an assembly this year, and I think he missed his white shirt and blue jacket, and he wasn't wearing a tie at the time. There you go for assembly. He didn't assemble nothing. I'll tell you this. On football, not only do you have a head coach, you got an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, a strength coach, a passing coach, a this coach, or that coach. They got so many coaches on the NFL team. You can damn near have anybody as a head coach. And I know he shopped for the groceries, but all the food that he picked up this year was spoiled.
Okay.
If you got it home, it went bad.
If you all want to do this year, that's fine. But Bill Belichick is not only the coach, he's the GM. He has assembled every single thing. That's the reason why he left the Jets. He left the Jets so he could not only shop for the groceries, he could pick everything. He has assembled. Now, let's be honest. He has assembled two types of dynasties with the Patriots. Several times that they won, he assembled both teams. All the time, correct? Can I get an amen?
Here's the way that you get.
Hold on. Can I get a yes or a no? Did he not?
You know what? The one caveat that you're leaving out is hold on. The one caveat that you're leaving out is every time he assembled something, he always had Tom Brady.
Thank you.
Without Tampa Tom.
Okay,
Stop.
now let me.
Yo, hold on. You trying to split it into two dynasties? No, my brother. If your quarterback is still Tom Brady, that is the dynasty. Ain't no two.
Yes, we will agree to disagree. We agree to disagree because Tom Brady did not win the first anchor of dynasty with the Patriots. The defense did. Can I get at least that?
He's still the quarterback at the helm, Frank. That's
I'm not denying that.
You can't just say,
Frank. I just want to let you know.
You can't do. If you go like Joe Montana, as great as Joe Montana is, even if one of those Super Bowls was won on defense, it's still the Joe Montana dynasty in era.
Yeah, but Joe Montana won. The defense didn't win that era.
But it wouldn't matter. He's still his era.
You know, the credit always goes to the quarterback.
Everybody know that.
Yeah,
they putting the loss on. They putting the loss on all the quarterbacks: Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, everybody that lost. They putting it on the quarterback. Ain't nobody said nothing about the coach. And Frank, listen, since you got to eat crow this morning, I got some water.
Listen, technically,
I want to help you wash it down. Do you need some barbecue sauce? I can get you some barbecue sauce, mayonnaise. What's your favorite condiment? Is what I need.
Technically, I'm not eating no crow yet because Tom Brady didn't win the Super Bowl yet. So I'm still.
Wait a minute. He got there.
Yeah, he got there. I'm still good. Well, let me ask you this, Talent. I'm gonna start with Talent. I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this. So, because you think Tom Brady is the guy, right? Did Tom Brady basically end all the conversation between him and Aaron Rodgers? You know what I mean? Because I could even go as far as saying on the flip side of that, I could even say, well, you got another great quarterback, and he didn't win. He only won one Super Bowl. That's Aaron Rodgers. I could,
right.
So I could even say. And a lot of people, we all know, a lot of people are thinking Aaron Rodgers is better than Tom Brady. I could even go as far back as saying right now that Tom Brady ended all that conversation yesterday. He ended it. Like it's over. Like you can't even compare the two now anymore. We all know
as the GOAT, I thought Tom Brady had it a long time ago, even before this year. And I think that his record is already and legacy is already solidified. Because he already won. He had won 6 out of 9. He's going to 10. You know what I mean?
Let me throw it back to Talent, because the question was to you. Let me ask you, do you agree or disagree with that, saying that the debate is ended between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady? Is the debate over?
I can't end it. As long as they're still playing, the debate has to continue on, because it's not the end of the movie yet. The movie's still being written. It's just like when we watching that game before we knew it was over, both of these guys are still in the running. So if they come back next year, the saga continues. What if Aaron come back next year and win? What if you win the next 2? Then you still got to argue, because skill-wise, he's in the argument. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers is in the argument skill-wise. Like Fig said, he made a great point. People that go off of just legacy and stats, Tom Brady got you beat, boy. You know what I mean? But when we look at the team, like we just said about football and basketball, there's other intangible things that push teams forward to get those accolades. Who has a better team? The better team won yesterday.
Okay, well, now for the record, I will come here and say that Talent won the argument. See, Talent, I told you I was going to admit it on the air that you won the argument saying that best QB versus best coach. Right now, as it stands right now, I always pay my bet, pay my dues, and I'm going to say right now, for the record, Talent did say coach versus QB coach. I mean, he said QB. So, Talent, there you are, my friend.
So the only thing I want to add to this is,
I'm about to mute you, Fig.
Is that Crow, Fig? Is that Crow?
That's what that's supposed to be. I'm about to mute Fig.
Yo, Talent. When Frank woke up this morning, that's what he woke up to. It wasn't no alarm clock. It was
Okay.
Well, Frank, right. I accept and thank you for being a bigger man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to always do that. So let's talk about the game, okay? Let's talk about the game real fast. Let's talk about the game. I'm gonna ask you this: when we all watched the game last night, right? I knew that Aaron Rodgers had a chance and to win that game up until Matt LaFleur decided 2 minutes and 8 seconds left to go in the game. Aaron Rodgers has 4 chances, and they literally kicked the field goal. So, Talent, the floor is yours. What did you think when he literally decided to kick the field goal? I mean, we all, of course, we're playing the Monday morning quarterback right now. But what did you think when Matt LaFleur made that decision to basically say, you know what, I'm going to kick the field goal? And I think in 2 minutes, 8 seconds, we're going to get the ball back.
Well, I said it was horrible, first of all. Second of all, after that I said it was horrible, the second thing I did was I said to myself, you know what? Somebody's not going to be here next year.
Right.
That's one of those moments. That was that moment where you knew somebody got to go because you clearly got two different things going on. When you have Aaron, I can see if you had the most mediocre quarterback in the game. You got Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. And if anybody can make a miracle right now, because you've seen one of those plays, he was in a similar situation. And he ran a little bit for, he had a hole where he could have grabbed 10 yards and he kind of stopped and went for the pass instead. But with it all on the line, you want the ball in his hands and decision made by him. When you opted to kick a field goal and it's only 2 minutes and change left, you damn near inadvertently waved the white flag, so to speak. Mm-hmm. You was relying on luck and defense, a same defense that couldn't hold these boys for 3 quarters.
Right.
Yeah. They showed a clipping somewhere in the middle of the movie where Aaron Rodgers screamed on the defense. He was coming off. He had scored or whatever, and he was coming off. And he was like, "Stop him! Do your job." To the defense taking the going on the field. So you got that guy, and then you made that call. I think that was the define. We watched the moment where obviously somebody's not going to be there next year.
And the winner goes to the Super Bowl. That's what blew me away. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. Fig, what's your thoughts?
As a player, you know what I mean? If we take the basketball analogy, the best player always wants the ball in his hand when the game is on the line and the clock is running down. In football, if you're on offense, that's your quarterback. And Aaron Rodgers is arguably one of the best top 5 maybe quarterbacks in NFL history. And with the game on the line, which it really was at that point, you want the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands. You want him to be able to make the final decision. I mean, he earned the right. His record earned him the right to be able to do that, to be able to have the ball in his hands with the game on the line, or at least to be able to call timeout and have a conference with your coach. The coach made the decision and never even consulted Aaron Rodgers on what he wanted to do at that particular point. So when the coach takes the ball out of your hand at that moment, and you're Aaron Rodgers, that's a bad move. And like Talent said before, the defense wasn't stopping Tampa Bay. The defense hadn't stopped them all game. I mean,
you're not going to call a timeout though, because your timeouts are precious. You're down by 8. You're not going to call a time. I hear everything you're saying.
They had 3 timeouts.
Yeah,
and the 2-minute warning. Yeah, so they really had 4.
Right. So, but you're not going to use one of them to call a time. Like, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that's what you use a timeout because you wouldn't have to, But I think Matt LaFleur made the hugest mistake. And I'm going to ask you this, Talent. Is that going to be the reason why, that Aaron Rodgers probably won't return? Because people are up here having a conversation now this morning from his comments he made saying, you know what, the future's a beautiful future right now. I'm not sure what's going on. He's still got 2 years left in his contract. But we did have this conversation before early on when I gave y'all a Pelican brief. And I said that I really don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to return. Remember? Now, did I not say that? So I'm going on record right now saying, I can't hear you, Talent. Talent, can't hear you.
It's stuck. Okay. The first thing that came to my mind, Frank, was your Pelican brief. I ain't gonna lie. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Because remember, Rodney was like, "Oh, I can't see it." You was talking about the whole Dallas situation and the coach going meeting up with the old coach and all that. And I was like, I could see that. And Rodney was like, "No, I can't see that." In that moment, when that call was made, because everybody who've ever watched an important moment in football know that two things: the amount of time left in the clock. You're so close to scoring. That's fourth down territory. You go for it for more than one reason. You go for it, obviously, because you're trying to score. You're down 8. But more importantly, if you don't score, they only take off. They take over way back here. Why would you come out of that, do the field goal, and give them a chance for better field position with the minimum amount of time that's left on the clock? That was a crazy call to me in a championship game that the winner is going to the Super Bowl. I think that the way he coached that game, he coached it like a regular season game. And you can't do that when it's all on the line. I think he took something out of the conservative playbook of the old Andy Reid. Even the old Andy Reid don't coach like that. The conservative playbook of you know what I mean?
All right, Fake, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean, I agree 100%. If you go for it on fourth down and you don't make it, then Tampa Bay has to start. I believe it was first and goal, so they got to start inside the 10-yard line. So I like those odds better than kicking the field goal because the field goal doesn't really help you if you down 8. And the thought process is Green Bay wasn't stopping Tampa from scoring or getting first downs. And that is what Tom Brady is known for. He's known for comebacks and in the fourth quarter. So you put all of those things into play. And I'll go back to this. What I said originally, I'll go back to the fact that, why not? Why not take a timeout? You know what I mean? If either you go for it, you know what I mean? What good is a timeout going to do you? I mean, you're not stopping them anyway. You go for a timeout. You put yourself in the best position to score, and you throw caution to win. You know, any timeout is not going to help you. Another timeout is not going to help you later on down the line, which prove it. They had 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning, and they still wasn't able to stop Tampa after they kicked the ball.
Let's go back to the question, though. The question is, and I'm going to ask you both for the record, do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to return back to Green Bay, especially after what happened? And I'm going to ask you Talent, and I'm going to ask you Fig. Is Aaron Rodgers – okay. Fig,
I have belief in your Pelican brief that Dallas is looking pretty damn good as a destination place.
Yeah, Dallas or possibly maybe Denver or something. I'm with you. Talent. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is returning. I think he's going to sit back and force his way out. What you think?
I think it's quite possible, but the one caveat that I'd like to add to it is it would depend on whatever his options are, like whichever team would be, he's gonna have a say so. He's gonna have a say so where he goes. No. I'm not talking about him having a say so. I'm talking about which team is talking about. They want him. Like if it's a whack team that ain't had no chance to go nowhere, then I think he stays. If it's a team that actually has the potential of being able to win, then I think he probably leaves. I mean, think about this. You drafted his replacement when you actually could have got him another weapon, which might have made the difference yesterday.
No might about it. No might about it. It definitely would have made the difference because they double teamed.
He has another receiver or better running back or something like that. You never know with the talent that Aaron Rodgers had. If you give him another weapon, they may win that game yesterday because Tom Brady turned it over 2 times and gave them an opportunity. They was in the game. Three times.
Three times.
Yeah, 3 times. And they had an opportunity to win. You give Aaron Rodgers another weapon, you never know what happens.
Yeah. All right, let me move on because I want to move on and talk about the other game. Like I got to talk about the Kansas City game versus Buffalo game. Then I want to talk about all the available QBs. I want to get all that in there too. Now I'm gonna throw it out there with you, Talent. After you saw Kansas City basically toy Buffalo, because to be honest with you, Buffalo was in that game, but Buffalo showed how much they were lacking by the middle of the second quarter. Like it didn't even seem like it was an even game because they weren't ready for Tyreek Hill. It just weren't ready. But that's just my thoughts. What's your thoughts? You were rooting for Buffalo. I know you're a Buffalo fan. Everything else. What's your thoughts? Your takeaway after you saw that game last night?
Well, it's a classic. We see this every year, and this year it just happened to be Buffalo. That new team that has arrived, and they start kicking butt, and they start playing together, and they're clicking on all cylinders. But what we fail to realize after watching win after win after win, it's still a new team. So I say that to say it's something about the big dance that makes everybody all choked up again and revert back to who they were before they started winning. Sometimes it's the championship game, sometimes it's the division rivalry, and most of the time it is the Super Bowl. We've watched teams like the Falcons go to the Super Bowl and just not show up. I think this Buffalo team that we seen yesterday, unfortunately, other than maybe the quarterback, most of them were happy to be there. And that was it. Mm-hmm. They already once you start reading your own press clippings, oh, this is the first this in 30 years. This is the first this, the record of this. People will read those accolades, will read those achievements and accomplishments, and be like, we good. So when they get in the big dance, if the other team does something like this, there's these defining moments where you're getting your ass kicked, and it make you sit back and kind of throw your hands up and like, you know what? I've seen comedians do it on stage. Like 10 minutes in, they just ain't getting that laugh they want. Then it's just like, forget the jokes. Like, forget. I'm not even going to try to win no more. Buffalo looked like that to me yesterday. It looked like after 2 quarters, they came back out that half. You could see it. They had none of the same fight that we were used to seeing in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Fig.
Like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until you get punched in the face. Buffalo Bills had a plan, and then they got punched in the face. And then this line that we've been starting and we've been talking about all year, I got to bring it back. They are who we thought they were. That's basically it. That's what happened to Buffalo Bills. So, listen, man. Buffalo Bills, they a good team. You know what I mean? I'm still going to order my buffalo wings and stuff like that. I mean, they did get to the dance. But the thing is that at the end of the day, the Kansas City Chiefs are just better. They got Patrick Mahomes. They got Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? They just have a better team, and that dude on the other side is next level. Everybody's been talking about that since his rookie year. Patrick Mahomes is just next level. You know what I mean? I've been with the Kansas City Chiefs since the beginning of the year. I felt like they were going to repeat, and I still do. Going up against Tampa, Tom, I would just say that to me, 2 weeks from now, when the Super Bowl is played, I think this will be the passing of the torch. I'm not saying that Tom Brady's going to quit, but I'm saying if the Kansas City Chiefs win, it will be an official passing of the torch.
I will say this for the record: we all three have this conversation. Tom Brady, I think, will have a talk with their defensive coordinator, and they will implement the same thing that the Patriots did against Kansas City when they went into Kansas City. And I think Todd Bowles, that Jets head coach, who everybody seems to be not talking about too much, that ex-Jets head coach, he will implement a plan that I think could shock the world. I think they could upset Kansas City. I'm not, obviously, I'm not going to bet no money on it and everything else, but I would think
if you had to put money on it.
Yeah, but I'm going to say right now for the record, I would not be surprised if Tampa Bay had put that same type of defense. And not to mention, Kansas City is down there at their other wide receiver. They're down one running back. They don't have all, you know what I mean? But if they put a clamp on Tyreek Hill and they clamp down their tight end, Kansas City they're gonna have some trouble.
Well, here's what we got to watch, and I really think that this is probably one of the most even matched Super Bowls we've seen in a minute. It's really going to boil down to mistakes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to put any money on either side. I can't call it right now until it gets close because COVID has a way.
Yeah.
COVID has a way. So you can bet on the team you think is better now. And God forbid we get up on this game a day or two before the Super Bowl and a key player has tested positive, had to go through the protocol and quarantine and all that. So we can't call that part of the game. But if we just go off of on paper and the tangibles that we do know, I think it's very even, offense and defense. However, I think that what happens in football is there's these mistakes and these weird things that happen, man, like tipping the balls and helmets hitting. Look at the fumbles yesterday. Pause. Look at the fumbles yesterday. Like the helmet went in there at certain angles, and it was no fault of the runner. Mm-hmm. It was just a freak accident of how the defenders coming in and the helmet and hitting the ball and popping it out. Pause. And you couldn't blame the runner. It wasn't like, yo, this dude is butterfingers or he ain't holding the ball. No. So these inadvertent game-changing things is what's going to be the deciding factor of this Super Bowl. It's not going to be somebody just get out there and whoop somebody's ass in the ground. I don't see that.
You know what the one funny thing for me was yesterday was the onside kick. I can't remember the last time I saw a team recover an onside kick. And Buffalo almost got two. You know what I mean? Because that first onside kick they got, I was like, wow. And the way the ball hopped, it literally was just one butterfinger slip away from getting two in the same game, which would have changed the whole game. But let's move on. Saturday, right? We were having a normal Saturday weekend. I'm sure all of us was. And then, of course, the news popped up that Matt Stafford is seeking a trade, which blew my mind. I was like, whoa. Matt Stafford is trying to get out of Detroit. He's forcing his way out of Detroit and everything else. So I'm gonna ask you, tell it. I'm gonna throw it out there right now. Here's my Pelican brief. Okay. Yeah. Matt Stafford is literally the quarterback away from going to certain teams that can get them to over the hump. I think if he lands on the Indianapolis Colts, it would be a perfect fit for him because they obviously need a QB. So I could see them there or possibly Denver, you know what I mean, as 1 and 2 punch. So, but Matt Stafford seeking out a trade. We got a whole bunch of other QBs we'll talk about in a second. What's your thought process of where you see Matt Stafford landing? Imagine if he lands in Chicago. I mean, but right now I think Colts is number one.
That's probably the only people that take him. Chicago. I think he's 5 years too late. You knew 5 years ago Detroit wasn't doing shit. Come on, man. You gotta get out of it. You know, I think it's 4 or 5 years too late that now your options are going to be narrow. Like if Matt Stafford said he want to leave 4 seasons ago, you got 8 teams lining up. Like, what you want? How can we get you? Mm-hmm. Now, you're right. The last thing you said might be right. You might go hop and skip over because, you know, Detroit ain't far from Chicago. Mm-hmm. So I see that happening. But other than that, like ending up in Indianapolis, well, that's not that bad. Between Indianapolis and Chicago. But if he would have went to Denver, if Denver would have took him, that would have been perfect. Because whoever's decent and goes to Denver, they're going to win.
Right.
But yeah, I just think it's 5 years too late. And I was shocked that he wants to leave. I'm like, dude, at some point, there's a lot of dudes in relationships right now that the relationship is horrible. They don't even love the girl no more. But they're just staying there, sitting on the couch. That's Matt Stafford.
I missed the analogy. Craig, what you think?
I think y'all is right. I think Matthew Stafford is staying there because they got cable.
Yeah, that's it.
Yo, man, let me ask you this. It's just like we said about Aaron Rodgers. It's about options. Like, what options does Matt Stafford have? Who wants him? That's what I want to know. Who the hell wants, man? We talk about Aaron Rodgers. We talk about other quarterbacks and stuff like that. Who in the hell wants Matt Stafford? He got a better chance of playing with Mark, Luke, and John. Matthew, that's what you got a better chance of playing. Don't nobody want no Matt Stafford. You got the stink of the Detroit Lions on you. Nobody want that lion smell on them. Don't bring that over here. Whatever it is, Matt, just leave it over there in Detroit. We don't want none of it. I want you to stay down there, you know what I mean, with the stinking Lions. And we don't want none of that Detroit smell on us.
You know, the funny thing is Matt Stafford has never won a playoff game. He has all the yards that you could think. He has all the other stats that make him look good, except he just doesn't have any playoff wins. Like Detroit's never got to the playoffs, and they did one time since he's been there. And what 11-12 is, they lost that one game. But let's talk about the rest of the QBs because right now, there are a lot of QBs out there. You got Deshaun Watson. You got now Matthew Stafford. You got, of course, Dak Prescott. Aaron Rodgers is now throwing his name into the mix. You know, you got Andy Dalton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jameis Winston is now out there, Mitch Trubisky. You can't even forget Jimmy Garoppolo's out there. So, Talent, I'm going to say it to you.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Well, Sam Darnold is not officially on the trade block yet. I'm talking about these are officially free agents and guys who are officially forcing their way out. Sam Darnold still got a team, and he's still doing his thing. Talent, I'm going to throw it out to you right now and say, which QB that you think is going to land on a different team is going to be the biggest surprise for you? Now, and I'm throwing Aaron Rodgers in there because he seems like he's forcing his way out right now. And Matt Stafford right now, he's seeking a trade. And Deshaun Watson right now, he's seeking a trade. So you got those guys with the rest of the guys I mentioned. Which quarterback and which team do you think is going to land somebody that's going to be like, wow, that could change the whole landscape of the, you know, whether it's the AFC, NFC, you know what I mean? Who's QB?
I think that I read something yesterday that kind of put my antennas up, and I'm gonna have to say, Deshaun Watson. The idea of him coming to the Jets is some incredible stuff I read because Woody's back at the helm and some changes in the front office in New York, and they judge him by the way that he's moved in the past. Remember, he took all those chances, bringing Favre, Testaverde, bringing Tim Tebow, like. He's done all those things. So that's along the lines of what we thought just a few days ago. Mm-hmm. We thought that this would be unbelievable and not a Pelican brief. Now, all of a sudden, right, Deshaun Watson, it might happen. So I would say Watson.
Yeah, because you know what? Deshaun Watson wants to get out of the Houston so bad, he'd even be willing to go to the Jets. He's like, I don't care. I just don't want to be here no more. So, 2 weeks ago, I'd be like, I don't think he's going to the Jets. Right now, I hear a lot of the Jets talk too. Fig, what's your thought process? Which QB, I'm going to ask you the same question. Which QB, where do you think he's going to land? And what would be the biggest QB that you think wherever he lands that could change and be a seismic shift change in AFC or NFC?
Well, the two biggest quarterbacks that could possibly be on the move, you would think is Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers. Out of the two, the one I think most likely, because he's already said that he wants out with a passion, is Deshaun Watson. And I think Deshaun Watson will pretty much go anywhere. I think he'll go to the Bears. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Not the Chicago Bears. He's willing to go to the Bad News Bears. That's how That's how bad he was out of Houston. Deshaun Watson would go play baseball like Michael Jordan did back in the day. He's like, I want out. Let me out of here.
Yo.
You know what I'm going to say for the record? I'm going to say if Aaron Rodgers does agree to leave and he says he wants out, I think wherever he lands, I think that would be the biggest seismic shift. I'm going to say, I've said it before. People thought I was crazy. Rodney was giving me a hard time. I'm going to say, if things don't work out with Dak Prescott and the Cowboys and Mike Holmgren over there right now, everything else, I think if Aaron Rodgers ends up leaving and he lands on the Dallas Cowboys, that would be the biggest seismic shift. And because Cowboys, they're not too far off. They really need a great QB. He could literally help them in a lot of things. You know what I mean? He could help them. But him and Deshaun Watson would be the 1 and 2, I think, are the names you sit there and go, wow. Because a lot of teams just one QB away. But you know what?
Can I answer the question, Frank?
Yeah.
Do you think that the Dallas Cowboys right now has a better squad than the Green Bay Packers? Like we were talking about Aaron Rodgers, we really believe that he needed some more weapon, or at least another weapon, like another receiver or something like that. Do you think that Dallas has better weapons than Green Bay does right now?
No, I don't. But I think Aaron Rodgers will make them still a better team. I don't think they have.
No, most definitely.
Yeah,
and sometimes that's important, Fig. Sometimes what's important with great players is that when they get to this level of needing a new environment and surroundings, they get rejuvenated. And you start to see it ain't no different than we've seen a different, player like Peyton Manning when he went to Denver. He got rejuvenated. He had to leave that situation to come over here to get rejuvenated because it wasn't going to happen again over here. So I came over here, I got rejuvenated. Now everything's new. You know how it is, bro. You know what I mean? This is how the side chick was invented.
I knew an analogy was coming. I knew.
Hold on, did he say the side chick was invented?
That a side chick was invented.
The first side chick name was Denver.
Okay, on that note, I gotta bring in Rodney Perry when I disagree. Oh no, Rodney, did you hear him say his side chick wasn't invented? All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rodney. I'm sorry, I missed your introduction. Anyway, y'all,
First of all, everybody knows the side chick was invented many years before that. It's always a pleasure to watch talent connect the dots. The top of the show was really eventful to watch Frank waffle back and forth on his assertion that coach matters more than great players. Well, Tom Brady has proven to us that when you're great, you can coach your damn self. Tom Brady's coach said in the press this week, you know, I just let Tom Brady coach his damn self. So that means that Frank and Talon are right.
Right.
When you got the best player, it matters. And when the best player happens to be the coach, that you're also right. But let's talk about what I heard this morning as I watched Sports Talk. Say Belichick is a great coach. Nobody is disputing that. But he is a poor GM. He's cheap. He haphazardly throws mediocre players together, and he expects the great Tom Brady to make them better. He goes out of his way to draft mediocre white dudes. And Tom Brady found a way with years and years to make these mediocre, okay, and average at best players to almost Hall of Fame receivers. But this year we see Tom Brady with a cavalcade of weapons.
Cavalcade. Oh.
We saw Tom Brady rise to the occasion. I bet against him. I'll never do it again. I thought Aaron Rodgers would find a way to beat Aaron Rodgers, to be the bad man we all want him to be, but Aaron Rodgers failed. It's not the coach's fault. Well, the coach decided to kick the ball. Aaron Rodgers didn't have that thing in his eyes. He didn't have a thing. You got to have that thing in your eyes, that thing to say, give me the ball. What Tom Brady do? It was fourth down. They was walking up the field. Tom Brady had went and took a shit. He said, you know what? After boo-booing, I feel like we can make this fourth down. And then he made the fourth down with a touchdown.
8 seconds in. Sure did.
Talent said the movie ain't over. Oh, the movie. The movie is over the credits is rolling. The bloopers is showing. The movie, matter of fact, I'm in the lobby. I'm gonna go get the car. I'll pull the car around. Movie over as hell. Took a field goal. They took a field goal. I'm not mad at that decision. That shows that, and to speak to Fig's point, Fig said they hadn't stopped, that Green Bay had to stop Tom Brady. That's not true. They had 3 turnovers in the second half. It was no reason to think they weren't gonna get that ball back. So I'm not mad at the decision to take the field goal, but again, I didn't see that thing in I didn't see the thing in what's his name? I can't even think of his name.
Aaron Rodgers.
I can't think of his name.
Aaron Rodgers.
Whatever. Should he be discussed in the same breath as Tom Brady? Hell no. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. No, he's not.
He sure ain't.
He's no longer a bad man. I'd rather have Matt Stafford. I said it.
Tom Brady's a bad man. Let's be honest.
Tom Brady is cold.
Yeah.
He proved it. Tom Brady, over the last 2 weeks, the two people that will give him a run for this era, he beat them both.
Yeah.
That in itself is worthy of praise. Aaron Rodgers is an amazing guy, man. I don't think he wanted it as much as Tom Brady wanted it.
If Tom Brady wins next week against Patrick Mahomes, he would have beat New Orleans Saints QB. What's his name?
Frank, hold on, Frank, hold on.
QB.
Hold on, Frank, hold on. Aaron Rodgers, hear your New England rhetoric.
And then Patrick. No, I ain't no New England rhetoric. I want him to lose. I want him to lose.
No, you don't.
You telling me what I don't want?
Somewhere deep down in your soul, you still rooting for Tom Brady, and I don't blame you.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. As Fig, as talent. That's why I want him to lose.
Listen. There's two things I want to say here. One is the word for the day is cavalcade, used by Rodney Perry. Cavalcade is word for the day. Number two is Tom Brady didn't leave New England. He was forced out. They got rid of him. Bill Belichick was trying to replace Tom Brady with Jimmy Garoppolo. And we know that and the lack of
Garoppolo was gone 2 years ago.
The year before, Bill Belichick was trying to move away from Tom Brady and put Jimmy Garoppolo in there.
After Jimmy Garoppolo left, Tom Brady was there for a whole nother season. So that
he was there for another season. But I think the fact that Bill Belichick was trying to move off of him is one of the reasons why Tom Brady got out of there. Bill Belichick didn't want a man.
Hold on, guys. Do we really think these guys are that sensitive? That they're not professionals? That they're not professionals? They know the game. They know that at some point when you get old, they're gonna look to replace your ass. That is just a fact. You're not gonna be 40 years old and they going, hey, we're gonna try it one more year. They did it with Michael Jordan.
No, but you gotta realize you're an entertainer. You should know better. The rapper never thinks he's gonna fall off. So goes the athlete and the entertainer. When you're living and riding high, you can't see the other side. You can't see the day when you're not gonna be riding high. You really feel and believe you are gonna be riding high. I keep telling you, man, the side chick. Stephen A.
said this morning, it was something that was really interesting. He said on the record, that if Tom Brady had just had a phone call from Bill Belichick telling him that he wanted him to stay, he would have signed on. That's what he said this morning. So, all right,
he said that he also said that he had inside information to that fact also.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah.
They be making up shit. Everybody know that.
Yeah. Let me ask you all about this. Let me ask you guys about this next fact that nobody's really talking about.
Nobody can prove.
Let me ask you all something about that nobody's even talking about. Do you guys realize? I'm gonna throw it out here right now. Tampa Bay's entire coaching staff, except for their head coach, is all black. So there's that. Will it change if Tampa Bay wins? And I'm gonna start with you, Rodney Perry. Will it change the outlook of black coaching staff in the NFL? Will they be starting to get hired as head coaches? I'm gonna start with you, Rodney. Work my way around.
You know how I feel about this. You know, you don't even have to ask me this. Is it gonna change? It ain't. Forget about coaches. Let's get some black people in ownership. Let's get some of these black billionaires and let's stop this good old boys club that's at the owners. That's in the owners position.
Right.
Black people.
Right. Okay. Let me ask you, talent. Black coaches, the entire black coaching staff is on Tampa Bay. Offense, defense, special teams, everybody there, even the running back coach, everybody there is a black head coach. Will that change? Means nothing.
Means nothing. The sad reality is we've always been given certain tiers of control. But in the mind of the powers that be, like Rodney said, the top of the food chain, they still look at you like that's enough. That's good. You know, the what's the white lady name on Fox News? She say it all the time. When she gets to talk about black athletes and coaches and stuff like that, you can hear in her voice like, you should be happy to have them.
Happy to have what you have. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not looking to put you high. That's high. That's pretty high. Like to us, we gave you a lot. You know, so at the end of the day, they're gonna look at it like they always do. When this Super Bowl gets won, the majority of accolades are gonna go to the quarterback, a couple of the players, but more importantly, that coach. Not the assistant coach, not the offensive coach or whatever. Because they are black, it's going to be like, you're a great offensive coordinator. You're a great defensive coordinator. You're a great quarterback coach. All of that. You're great at that. But to talk about that next step up, you're lucky if you get one.
Well, on that note, I'm going to ask Fig the same question. With Fig, I'll just say this. There are even 4 black GMs in the entire league right now. There's 32 teams, there's 4 black GMs, and now there's one entire coaching staff on Tampa Bay that has all black coaching except for obviously the head coach. Will it change? Does that mean anything? What you think?
No, because at the end of the day, people pick who they're comfortable with. And these owners, like Rodney said, until the ownership really changes, I don't think that we're going to see a great change in the NFL itself. This is that last stand. You know what I mean? It's still a glass ceiling. Eric Bieniemy should have had a job, or at least been able to interview for a lot of jobs, because anybody that knows that he was he was the brain behind what happened with Kansas City last year. So if he don't get a shot, what does it really matter? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really think if it was about qualifications, being equal, I think there would have been a lot of black coaches in the NFL by now. But the thing is, it's not about, at the end of the day, it's really not about whether you're good enough. It's who the owner feels comfortable with. Who does the owner want to play golf with? Who does the owner want to invite to the country club? And that, at the end of the day, that really is what it's about. Who's the owner's friends? You know what I mean? And that's why the black quarterback is not getting the shot, because the owners don't want to give him an opportunity.
All right. So look. So do you think we should be getting to more in the GM positions? Because maybe that's what it is. Maybe we need to have more black GMs. You know, maybe that's, I don't know. I mean, I can't say or not, but I think everything that you all said is correct, because who is the ownership more comfortable with is definitely what the whole thing is. But for the first time ever in NFL history, we have to at least acknowledge that Tampa Bay, there will be an NFL team playing in the Super Bowl that has an entire black head coaching staff except for the head coach. So we have to at least acknowledge that. That means something, right? I mean, am I wrong saying?
Well, we're announcing it, Frank, because we all happen to be black.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anybody utter it on white media yet. You know what I mean? Mainstream media, whatever you want to call it. The white commentators, the white sports analysts, I haven't felt any accolades go and quite worded the way you worded. And definitively say, oh my God, this is a black coaching staff from this rooter to this tutor. I'm not getting that. I know we have to acknowledge it, because we're constantly under that lens where we got to say, they got us like that. They got us to the point where we always got to compare what we got to do and what somebody else got to do. You know what I mean? Which is sad. You know, our parents used to tell us how hard, they get you ready. Be prepared to work 10 times as hard as your counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
To get those very same accolades and appreciations. You want those perks, you want those promotions, you're going to have to work 10 to 20 times as hard as your counterpart.
What do you want to say, Fig?
No, I was going to say the thing of the matter is that if you look at it, what's the difference? It's like the white guy's the boss, and he got these other guys working for him. He got these black guys working for him. It's the same thing. I mean, you could be vice president. You could be, you can have different positions under, but you're still under the white guy. At the end of the day, the white guy is he's still your boss.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we acknowledge it, because it's for the historical fact that that there's that. But Rodney, I wanted to ask you a question since I have you on, and I didn't ask you the question beforehand. What do you think? who do you think will be the seismic QB who leaves and lands on a major team? Like I thought Aaron Rodgers, he could, wherever he goes, if he doesn't stay in Green Bay, I think wherever Aaron Rodgers lands, I think can make a seismic shift in wherever he lands at. Like if he lands in Dallas, it'd be huge. If he lands in Denver, that'd be huge. And so my vote is for Aaron Rodgers number 1 and Deshaun Watson number 2. Who do you think is going to be and where you think they're going to land?
I mean, would it be cool to see Aaron Rodgers in a Cowboy uniform? I mean, it would be cool. I don't think it's going to happen. You know, I still maintain my take on that. But I mean, maybe the guy needs to change of pace. You know, like I said, that dog that we look for in people's eyes, I didn't see it.
Yeah, because you know why? He looked across the field. He saw Tom Brady in a whole new uniform with a whole new team, bringing a new team to the Super Bowl, and I think that made him, like maybe beforehand he might not have thought about it, but now I think he's open to the thought of, you know what, I could go somewhere else because I don't like what's happening here. You know what I mean? That's why.
And also, what's becoming more important to these guys is control.
Yeah.
Whether it's Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson, you're thinking, yo, I want to go somewhere I have some say so.
Yeah.
You know, what a team is not going to trade away my best freaking receiver.
Right.
So I guess that could be anywhere. So the short answer is, Aaron Rodgers moving anywhere is going to be a seismic shift in the NFL.
Yeah, and
I'm going to say this quick point. Something that just came to my mind. What if we take Deshaun Watson and he's on Green Bay yesterday when we talked about Aaron Rodgers had a chance to run for it? Does Deshaun Watson take off and run when he has that open field? And isn't Deshaun Watson more athletic enough to probably score that touchdown with that open space? I think we may be underestimating Deshaun Watson and the damage that he could have done had he been in the same position that Aaron Rodgers was in yesterday, because that boy got wheels.
I mean, that's fair, man. I mean, it was a good game all the way around. I mean, a few choice of play here the other way and go the other way.
Yeah.
Tom Brady threw some horrible balls yesterday.
Yeah, and they should have lost. Yeah,
like
Green Bay didn't make them play.
That fourth down, outside of the wide open guy on the side, that they act like they didn't even know how fast he was. Outside of that, he threw in the coverage like that big 3rd and long over the middle, and it's like that dude made an amazing catch.
Now that Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions and Green Bay didn't make them pay on those three turnovers. They didn't make them pay at all. I'll say that, but I also leave you with this, all y'all with this. What Tom Brady did about going to the team and having say-so with teams is I think that is going to ignite Aaron Rodgers, because now you can't tell me if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Cowboys or somebody else, people are not going to want to go play with him also. Like that, how they doing in Tampa Bay. That's just facts.
And here goes another thought too, Frank, that if you're going to kick the field goal, kick it on first down.
Yeah, so you have more time, right?
You know, first down.
Yeah, so you have more time on the clock.
The minute you go for it on first down, second down, you committed. You pot committed, you got to go.
Yeah. Well, y'all, we ran over time for a minute, but anyway, that's the show. So,
No, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's the show. That's the show. So tomorrow we're going to finish having this conversation. Tomorrow I'm going to definitely jump into more of the coach versus the player, because a couple of things I want to add on that, we could add on more about that. This is the show, The Box Seats. Tell everybody out there how they can follow you.
First, I want you to concede to me again.
Hold on.
In closing,
hey, Frank, take that title off so they can say our names.
No, it's your boy Talent on Twitter at This Is Just Comedy, King Talent Harris on Facebook, and of course, if you're on Instagram, Talent the Comedian.
All right, Rodney Perry.
I'm easy to find all social media. I'm at Rodney Perry Live. The YouTube is popping. Appreciate y'all for the follow.
And tonight, your show tonight?
What's today? Monday? Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's fire. You know that. Okay, Vic.
Yo, you can find your boy Fig on all social media platforms at Comedian Fig. It's right there. If you can't spell it, it's right there on the screen. Or you can find me on the Box Seats Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. I'm going to be right here.
All right, y'all. Tomorrow's show is going to be good. We're going to have the comedian known as Shang. He's going to join us with his crazy two cents to say what he thought about the games. We're going to talk about that. The Yankees and the Red Sox made a major trade. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. We're also going to talk more about the UFC. And then, of course, I got to eat more crow tomorrow because that's what happens when you lose so-called conversation. You got to do what you got to do. It's the show called The Box Seats. Tomorrow on the Humor Mill. Tomorrow, 1 to 2 o'clock. Thanks for y'all for watching. We appreciate y'all. Same bat time, same bat channel.